gets these leads together, trim them off. We need to heat them up and tin them. If you get enough on there, it'll flow around. Okay, without stopping what I'm doing, taking the heat off my iron, I'm going to attach this resistor to the, and I'm going to do the same thing again. I need some more solder. Cut it too thin. This iron tends not to transfer very much. So, and there's transferred. Good connection. Okay, so we're through with our soldering for now on this package. Basically what I do is put a pair together. So I'm going to twist this pair, and I'm going to twist the other pair. Now, you could hook these to the motor leads. You could hook these to track pickups closest to either side. Basically, you need to insulate all this. The easiest way to do it would be a piece of heat shrink, or what I'm going to use, which is liquid electrical tape. Now I take the liquid electrical tape, which I use black. They make it in different colors. Color doesn't matter. And I take a micro brush that I've removed the brush from, and I pick up a small amount, because the big brush on this is very messy and nasty. Anyhow, but you just insulate, and this stuff will get like hard. You can cut it off, but it gets pretty hard. So you could come back and work on this again if you didn't get it quite right or what have you. But just cover up all your exposed surfaces with it. If this was high voltage, I wouldn't recommend this, but since it's such a low voltage, you're not in danger of really getting shocked. You just want to keep down any wiring shorts or what have you. So, then turn it around. You may have to come back and cover up a few exposed sections later, but that's pretty good. Usually doesn't take very long to dry. I always clean my stick off, as it's a little harder to get off when it's dry. But now most of you, and I'm sure he's going to want to, is going to want to mount this in a cab of a locomotive. So I have already prepared a cab by drilling this hole with a number 32 bit drill bit, and made it where this will go in here, and it's a pretty snug fit. So you can super glue it in if you want to after you get it in there, or you can leave it however you want it. I actually have this, put these together. You'd heat shrink over the top of these leads with some wire, make them short, and then go down and connect to your track powers. But I'm not going to go that far with this explanation. Basically, if you take the long hood and you want this to fit in the long hood, and then once it's in there you can bend this up and get it real close to the top of the long hood where it clears all your motor mechanism and everything. But needless to say, so let's mount this in the vise so we can see what happens. Getting a DC that's just a Bachmann 0 to 17 volt DC 6 volt amp supply, and as you can see, if I go in a forward direction at just barely cracking it on, the LED starts to light, and of course just a little more and it really starts to get bright, all the way up to 17 volts in forward direction. Well, if this is a flashing LED, it would be flashing this time, which is of course what Frank has and what he wants to happen. And then all the way back down to off, and then in the reverse direction, because of the diodes, it continues to work all the way to 100%, the full 17 volts, and back down. So any small amount, probably before the locomotive will even start running, his beacon will start flashing, and all the way up to 100. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send Frank 4 of these for this locomotive so he can duplicate this. I'm going to send him 4 diodes and a resistor, and then he can go from there, and he should be able to put in the blinking LEDs that I showed him where to buy them, and he's already bought them, he told me. So anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this. Hope this makes sense to you, and you're able to do this on your DC trains if you want this without buying a special circuit or what have you. You could move all this away by attaching wires to the LED and moving it away, out of the way, and attaching these somewhere else, getting them out of the way, heat shrinking over the top of them to isolate them. This is just a quick, simple, this is how it works, and I hope it works and it's self-explanatory and you enjoy and can make your beacon work, Frank, and anyone else that's interested. Thank you. Have a good day. We'll talk to you later. This is Travis Lane signing out.